cheetahs are the fastest runners among all the animals on the planet. But that doesn't make them invulnerable at all. Here, a family of cheetahs encountered lions. Mighty, mature males are about 4 times more massive, so it's not really surprising that they develop a speed half that of cheetahs. But their agility and ability to gain speed at lightning speed could not be underestimated. These cheetahs let the enemy get too close to them, and paid the price. To gain maximum speed, the spotted cats need only a couple of seconds, but the lions did not give their rivals this amount of time. While the cheetah was just picking up speed, the lion was already rushing at him like a live battering ram, and the huge cat knocked the opponent off his paws and instantly knocked him to the ground. The cheetah fought back, trying to hit the lion's muzzle with its clawed paws, but the advantage in strength of the larger cat is huge. The lion quickly crushed the opponent with powerful blows of its paws, after which he brutally broke his neck with a bite of its strong jaws. The rest of the cheetahs had to retreat, especially since there are 2 male lions here. They showed the runners who was the most dangerous predator out here. 4 hunting dogs noticed the lizard and immediately rushed at the reptile. But they clearly underestimated their opponent, most of whose body was hidden by muddy water. The lizard turned out to be much cooler than the predators thought it was. When she fought back, it became clear that the length of the reptile's body is about 1.5 times larger than that of any of the dogs. But there were 4 of them, and they were aggressive, especially on their own territory. Therefore, the dogs continued to attack. Well, it's your own fault. The lizard uses water as its main shelter. She dives under the algae and becomes almost invisible. Nevertheless, we must give the dogs their due. They turned out to be real brave men, and one of them rushed into the water to this monster while the others patrolled the shore. But to no avail, it did not work out defeating the lizard. The dogs chased the reptile for quite a long time until it finally got tired. The reptile made a lightning dash to the side, and probably by accident, she twisted her tail and hit one of the dogs in the face. Or maybe this slap was part of a defensive tactic? Or was the reptile just showing the dogs how much she despised them? When lions gather to hunt, they are a force to be reckoned with, especially if males join the females. But the rhinoceros is not the kind of beast that will easily surrender even to such enemies. These huge herbivores may look sleepy and slow, but in fact, they turn out to be incredibly fast runners and aggressive fighters. Rhinos have poor eyesight, so they can let a predator get close enough to them. The lions probably thought they had scared the rhinos and made them freeze in place in fear. Not at all. The herbivores just saw the predators too late. But when they finally saw it, the most interesting thing began. The lions should not have run into the displeasure of these giants. Rhinos respond to any threat with an aggressive and furious attack. A rhinoceros is more than 10 times heavier than an adult male lion, and a lioness versus a rhinoceros is like a kitten. But it seems the predatory cats do not understand what a huge advantage in strength such a massive herbivore gives. Well, the rhinos will explain it to them. Lions attack prey from different sides and try to surround it. But by causing whole clouds of dust, the rhinos are able to stop almost instantly and turn around for an impressive counterattack. Their main weapon is their horn. It's only one, but it's very sharp and long. Terrible blows from the bottom up can lift a lion into the air as if it were a kitten. In addition, even a light hit of the horn on the enemy's body leads to terrible stab wounds, which often end fatally for the enemies of these herbivorous giants. But this is not all that is in the arsenal of the mighty beasts. Rhinos prefer ramming attacks, and in this, they have reached the pinnacle of skill. You definitely don't expect such maneuverability with them, but an adult rhinoceros is able to quickly change the direction of its movement, shake its head towards the enemy, or simply just trample it. And the powerful and very thick, hard skin acts perfectly as a natural body armor, withstanding the blows of the clawed paws or even mature male lions. Even one rhinoceros can literally scatter a group of several lions and lionesses. And if there are 2 herbivores, they will effectively protect and cover each other. Although in exceptional cases, lions can defeat such an opponent, as you can see. They are not in front of you. Here, the rhinoceros is clearly winning, and the lions are only lucky enough to avoid their ramming blows. When a cat is sunbathing, it should not be disturbed at all. Just look at this furry little charmer. Except this kitty's got claws, and she is not afraid to use them. When two dogs pass by, they shouldn't have bullied this cat. She endured it for a couple of seconds, of course, and then got up and just threw one of the offenders into the pool. That's what effective problem solving and communication is called. A fox is a prey for a dog. Some breeds were bred specifically for fox hunting. For example, dachshunds. And if this dog, which looks like a little wiener dog, can hope with a fox in her hole, then this large black dog is able to just tear apart its opponents in general in 3 seconds, isn't it? Except the dog doesn't know who he's messing with. Foxes are incredibly fast and agile animals. This red-haired predator takes off like a racing car. Maybe the fox is not the fastest animal in the world, but his ability to accelerate is outstanding. In addition, due to its small mass, the fox changes direction faster. Combined with the natural agility and maneuverability, this makes him almost elusive. But the main thing is still the cunning of the red predator. Pay attention. The fox does not just run away from a large dog in a panic, but tracks the movements of the enemy and reacts to them in time. Has the dog stopped? So the fox can too. Did the dog attack? Then the fox will bounce back. A large hunting dog is about 3 times more massive than an opponent and will be able to break the fox's necks if he grabs it. But it seems that for the redhead, this chase is just a game. In fact, the fox is not only having fun as an adrenaline-addicted biker, he also uses a trick to save his energy. By accurately calculating the trajectory of the enemy's movement and stopping when the dog does so, the fox retains maximum strength. He is tough, but not indefinitely, so it is important for him not to panic and not try to break away from his pursuer. After all, there may be beaters ahead, an ambush of other dogs, or a hunter with a gun. The fox understands this and is not going to allow himself to be driven like a panicked rabbit. The dog is furious, breaking into a run again and again in an attempt to catch prey. But he can't reach such a nimble beast. But then something completely amazing happens. When the dog gets tired of this running around, it allows itself to turn its back on the fox. And this is a big mistake. This miniature beast may not be a super fighter, but it is not afraid to attack the offender if the opportunity presents itself. As a result, the fox grabs the dog by the groin with his fangs. The dog reacts instantly, but the red-haired beast dodges even at this close range. The dog has learned his lesson and will no longer neglect this opponent. And here, the fox generally trolls a huge Kangai. This breed belongs to the strongest herding dogs in the world. 3 Kangaus can fight a bear. A fox should tremble and panic at the mere sight of such a powerful enemy, should it not? No way. This clever wild hunter immediately noticed that the Kangol was on a chain. Therefore, right in front of the eyes of the heavyweight dog, struck by such arrogance, the fox calmly surveys the territory, runs around, and seems to tease the enemy. The Kangol rushes forward but can't really do anything, because the chain is holding it securely. The fox is also at risk because he did not really measure the length of the leash. But the reaction speed does not let the wild predator down, and he dodges the enemy's fangs. Although sea lions spend most of their lives in the water, they can get out on land. This last thought that it would be able to escape from killer whales that are not able to leave the water. Big mistake. Orcas are ready to risk themselves for the sake of such appetizing seals. They timed the moment to break ashore together with the wave, grab the pinniped, and return back as soon as possible. Now we will show other amazing cases from the life of marine predators. It seems as if killer whales know that they are being filmed and deliberately demonstrate their incredible strength. Here, a predator overtakes a sea lion, which it can deal with the help of its jaws. But instead, the killer whale throws the victim out of the water with a crushing blow of its tail. The sea lion flies to the height of a third-story building. The birds are shocked. They fly over the hunting ground in search of profit, but they did not expect that the underwater monster sent its victim to visit them. After such a monstrous blow, there are hardly many whole bones left in the body of a sea lion. But falling on the surface of the water from such a height is like falling on concrete. This completely finishes off the sea lion and turns it into a helpless victim. This means that it can only be picked up with the jaws of this orca. The brutal and at the same time impressive manner of hunting is incredibly effective. If the agile sea lion still has chances to dodge the grip of the killer whale's fangs, then the victim will not be able to survive such a blow. But the great strength is not the main weapon of killer whales. Their intelligence is much more important. These black and white underwater predators are close relatives of dolphins, famous for their memory and mental abilities. Killer whales are in no way inferior to their distant relatives. Excellent memory and communication skills are combined with the ability of these predators to plan complex hunting tactics. And killer whales look at dolphins like a burger. Yes, family ties do not prevent them from hunting smaller animals at all. Catching a dolphin is a difficult task. They can get away from most large enemies due to maneuverability. But this dolphin does not know who he's messing with. A tense confrontation, wouldn't you agree? Thanks to the efforts of these killer whales, they succeed in what most sharks do not. Some beaters chase prey from behind, others do not allow a group of fish to disperse over a large area. Finally, our hunter squeezes its jaws, and the dolphin is no longer able to get out. He will be dealt with the powerful blows of the tail, which the killer whales can also throw the dolphin out of the water with. Teeth will also be used. The killer whales use a similar tactic to restrain a whole school of fish. Without allowing them to scatter in different directions, each killer whale can snatch not one, but several fish at once in one throw. Another advantage of killer whales is courage. If a sea lion or seal is on land, on the shore, but close enough to the water's edge, this black and white predator can risk its life for a hearty lunch. Well, and for the sake of adventure, of course. It seems that killer whales just love thrills. How else can you explain the many episodes when they hunt these sea lions on the shore? A killer whale can jump ashore, catch a seal, and just go back. It looks epic, and the element of surprise helps to catch the seals by surprise, who do not have time to react and retreat far enough back. But if the predator makes even the slightest mistake and jumps out too far, it will get stuck. Sometimes the most desperate killer whales jump out so far that only a tidal wave can help them get back into the water. And this is completely unpredictable. In fact, the killer whale is playing roulette and betting his life. If it stays on land, then contrary to popular belief, its own weight will not suffocate her. This is only the problem of much larger whales. But the thermoregulation of killer whales is adapted to living in cold water. If the animal remains on land, then overheating in a few hours will be fatal for it. That's why during the rescue of killer whales, conservationists pour water on them. The animal breathes air, but it needs water to cool down while people drag it back into the water. To be honest, water is an unpredictable element. Now this bird feels like a hunter, right? For whom the only concern is catching prey. Suddenly, a huge shark appears from the depths, as if out of nowhere, really, and catches up with the bird with one throw. The shark caught the albatross in less than a second, and the bird didn't have the chance to take off when the predator was so close. The shark is an incredibly successful marine predator. This species has existed for tens of millions of years, practically unchanged. And that's because perfection cannot be improved. Just look at the speed with which the shark overtakes its prey here. Thanks to its incredibly strong tail fin, this fish is able to overcome a huge distance in just a couple of movements. The strength of the shark can be judged by the fact that during the hunt, it is able to jump out of the water to such a height almost equal to the length of its own body. It's kind of hard to believe, but it allows sharks to hunt birds. This feathered one right here is shocked when a monster suddenly appears out of the water, and it catches it right on the fly. A shark's battering ram can stun anyone. But the main trump card of this predator is its jaws. There are about 300 triangular sharp teeth in a shark's mouth. How do they fit in there? It's simple, in several rows. At the same time, the jaws have great strength, so it is almost impossible to break out of a grip like this. Shark teeth also have jagged edges, so they act like miniature saws. And although there are few rivals for these fish, they prefer to hunt wounded animals more, chase injured ones, and weak individuals. Just imagine, some marine inhabitant survived a terrible danger, beat a predator in a fight, managed to break away, only for a shark to smell its blood and swim in for a second round. A great white shark can just bite an adult seal. And even smaller species are able to hunt most sea lions and seals in fish of the world ocean. Pretty scary, isn't it? Sharks, for all of their advantages, have one drawback. They're not very social. Dolphins are another matter. They have a well-developed signal exchange system, thanks to which dolphins coordinate their actions in real time. And they are unexpectedly cruel. It may come as a surprise to you, but dolphins often use violence against their own kind. They attack young ones, take away food, but they protect their family members desperately. So attacking a young dolphin is the stupidest idea a shark could come up with. It doesn't even understand who it's messing with, and now it's going to pay for its cruelty. The shark's jaws didn't even have time to touch the opponent when the anger of the family falls on the brainless fish, like the ninth wave on a wooden raft. The shark simply has no chance. The smart dolphins, if they lag behind the enemy in terms of physical strength, then it's only a little bit. They also are superior in maneuverability and speed. However, the main thing is that dolphins know the weaknesses of their enemy. They deliver powerful and painful blows to the gills, which for a shark is like a hammer blow to the throat. At least it stuns and causes terrible pain. And then the dolphins turn the opponent over. An interesting anatomical fact. If a shark is turned upside down, it will almost paralyze it, and it will not be able to return to its normal position on its own. It's not really clear how dolphins know about this. Maybe they catch young sharks and conduct experiments on them? We honestly wouldn't be surprised. But knowing this feature makes killer whales extremely dangerous against sharks. Just now, this fish thought that she was the lord and the storm of the seas. And now she is already prey for a pack of angry enemies who beat and paralyze her in a couple of minutes, and then eat her. Do not mess with dolphins if you are a solitary animal. And even more so, it is not worth messing with their young. The only marine predator that is higher up than dolphins in the food chain is killer whales. Interestingly enough, although both dolphins and killer whales show cruelty towards enemies, it is killer whales that are more loyal both to their own kind and to people. There are cases when wild dolphins attacked people to drown them. So meeting a dolphin in the wild is honestly like playing the lottery. You get lucky, it'll help and even save you from the sharks. Not lucky, it will attack you. So beware of these animals in the water. But wild killer whales never do this. They swim up to people to study them, get to know them, and even swim with them and play together. But there's no aggression. Moreover, there are impressive cases when killer whales and huge whales have saved people from sharks, pushing aside predators, or attacking them to protect strangers. This just goes to show that not all heroes wear capes, and these giants often just swim up to communicate, keeping maximum accuracy. They slow down so as not to accidentally hit the boat, surfboard, or the person themselves. Would you ever like to meet such a powerful, ruthless, but loyal to man marine predator? Let us know in the comments. Or let us know if you already have a story about how you encountered killer whales. If a killer whale seems like an underwater giant to you, then how do you like these big bad boys? The weight of a killer whale can reach 4 tons, the same as a minibus, but the weight of a humpback whale is 30 tons. This is practically a living island, which sometimes goes to a huge depth, and when it rises to take a breath of atmospheric air, causes waves on which a surfer could ride. The camera captures an epic scene of the confrontation of a whole flock of killer whales with such humpback whales. It's almost like hunting a pack of wolves for a moose, with the only difference that these animals are 10 times larger. And also, these aquatic mammals have more developed communication, so they use more complex tactics. Killer whales can spend hours surrounding a family of humpback whales to separate the cub from the mother and other members of the group. Regular aggressive attacks are inflicted by predators from different sides to confuse the enemy. One blow from the powerful tail of a humpback whale is enough to crush the killer whale and cause fatal damage to it. Therefore, these intelligent carnivores constantly change the angles of attack, act aggressively, and at the same time, so smoothly, as if they had been rehearsing and practicing their techniques for hours. But to finish off the victim of this size, killer whales do not use their jaws. Even their bites could not cause fatal damage to a humpback whale or a different whale. Instead, killer whales drown the victim. They know that whales also breathe air. Therefore, killer whales block the attempts of the whale to surface for a life-saving breath. To do this, predators use ramming blows, try to hold the victim with their teeth, beat with their tails, and since killer whales themselves need air, the predators constantly are going after each other. The blue whale is the largest creature on Earth. And we're not only discussing sea animals here, but all animals in the world. And not just now, but for the entire history of man. No dinosaur has ever reached such impressive dimensions. A mass of 150 tons, with a body length of more than 100 feet 30 meters, is like the weight of a spacious building. A blue whale could swallow a van, and with a blow of its tail, it is able to cause a wave that could hide a small island underneath water. But killer whales attack even such giants. It's incredibly dangerous, but if a blue whale is alone, then a dozen aggressive predators like this could attack it for hours, inflict painful bites, and chase it for miles. And so who would you root for in this situation? A huge giant, or clever, cruel, but capable of effective mutual assistance of predators? Let us know in the comments. We're interested to know your opinion. By the way, it's really funny that of all land animals in the world, the closest relatives of whales and dolphins are cows. And other hoofed mammals, of course. Well, that's pretty unexpected, isn't it? Their common ancestors went into the water millions of years ago. Then, the ancestors of the hoofed animals were not such avid vegetarians. Among them were omnivorous animals and even predators. So killer whales have retained their love for a meat diet, becoming the most successful predators of the world's oceans.